Who's all here from last month and is ready for the tea? For those that are unaware and are just coming in, I ask that you watch last month's video so you can understand what we're doing today. And that is exposing my father for the narcissist he is. But first, the routine. Hello, my lovely kittens. It's Perry. And like I said, this is a part 2 of my story time on how my father is now estranged. Quick reminder that if you like the art behind me, then a click on the like button would be appreciated. Each like lets me know people still enjoy my videos, even with subpar editing software. Also, if you love seeing my little cat face, then click subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell to be notified for my monthly uploads. Now, picking up where I left off. Now, these summer visits with him and his new wife were eventful, because every single summer I managed to do something that made them hate me so much that I would be grounded for the rest of the visit till I got back to my mom. One year, my stepsister and I did a B&E. That was dumb. 2 years in a row, I was caught taking illegal photos of myself because I was a minor at the time. I'm open about this part of my history because I'm not ashamed of it. Police were involved the second time because I basically got them involved. I'll make that a separate story time if anyone is interested. Pretty much every summer I would be in trouble. There's even the little things where I would make a joke and he would blow up at me. Or him and his wife denying I have cold urticaria till I got myself a bowl of ice cream and sat it on my lap in nothing but shorts to show them the rash. That story is on my allergy video. Or how about something more specific? My freshman year in high school, I tried to live with him. Almost through the first semester, we were told we were moving before my birthday. At least they had the courtesy to let me stay till after my birthday. But during the moving process, our neighbor and her daughter were over. The daughter was just a toddler and accidentally got balloons stuck in the ceiling fan. See, I didn't know this because I was in my room with my sister and her friend. I can't even remember what it was, but I thought of something funny and I wanted to tell my dad. Still laughing about it, he thought I was laughing at the balloons in the fan, yelling at me as he asked me how I thought it was funny. So I gave it back. Same attitude as I told him I wasn't laughing at that. Just for my stepmom to then be down my ass, screaming at me about the way I talked to them with an attitude. These were also the same neighbors with the toddler who had her birthday party at our house. There's a story too. I love watching cake building videos. Love them. How to Cake It with Yolanda? Absolutely fantastic. I can't remember which video it was, but I knew it was a piñata cake. I brought the idea to my stepmom and she asked me if I wanted to help her make it. It was going to be a minion cake. But guess what? I didn't do anything. Not a damn thing. My stepmom and our neighbor worked on it. I wasn't asked anything, I wasn't given direction, but my stepmother knew I wanted to help. The cake was my idea, and they didn't even bother to include me. And they wonder why I isolate myself. They wonder why I don't show interest in things. In case it wasn't clear, I'm not a huge fan of my stepmother either. She is the type of person to try and one-up you in the trauma game. I'm not gonna share her story because it's not mine to tell, but she would practically tell me my problems are nothing and to be grateful I didn't go through what she did. This is also the same woman who said to just focus on my art because I would never make it as a singer. And honestly, guys, singing was my plan A, and she crushed it. All because I can't be opera house worthy like her eldest daughter. I'm gonna try and make this next section quick since I still have it pretty fresh in my head. But in 2022, I tried living with my father again after hearing nothing from him for nearly 7 years. The only thing I got from him was a congratulations when I graduated high school. I would text him, send old photos I found in a bin, even have my stepmother be a middleman, but still nothing. I felt like that since I was an adult, he couldn't do most of what he did as discipline. And in a way, I was right. I didn't see the drill sergeant, I couldn't be grounded, and my devices were not taken again. But a few things to keep in mind is that my stepmother has a special needs son. So my father used him as an excuse to put up security cameras and mics in the house. I couldn't say or do anything without him knowing. That includes me saying in the living room one night with my stepsister, I'm just gonna call her Emily, and I'll call her older sister Jenny. Emily told me she got Jenny's performance on a live feed because, again, she's opera house worthy. I told her if I wanted to watch it, I would have gone with our parents to the theater. I didn't want to go because of how much better she was than me, and I didn't want to sit there bitter and bring everyone else's mood down. Apparently, my father heard that, and when they got home, he ridiculed me for being jealous and to just grow up. I'm sorry, but did I not make the decision to allow you all to enjoy your time? My feelings are valid. So if I wanted to do something that benefits everyone by not going to a show where I know I would get pissed off, why is that a bad thing for me to do? I'm not gonna just get over it because this is the same family that told me I could never do what Jenny is doing. Not only that, but if y'all seen one of my previous videos where I tell you all how I got scammed, yeah, that wasn't the first time. The first time, I was trying to help a friend in need and was desperate to get them out of that situation. Ended up putting myself in the hole about $2,000. Because I trusted the wrong person to keep to their word. Well, I had to say something because I was in the hole. Just to be ridiculed. I'm always the problem, right? It's always my fault, right? But for me, this wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was on my birthday. Now, the 2 weeks prior to this, I was still in college and had to do a science project. Stepmother went to the store, father was in the living room, I'm in the kitchen. I looked around and couldn't find the rubbing alcohol I needed, so I went back to the kitchen, texted my stepmother if she could pick up some, then I went to use the restroom. I didn't take my phone with me, so I didn't see that she called till I got back. Just to be yelled at by my dad. Why didn't you ask me to help you? Why do you automatically go to her? Gee, maybe it's because you act like this. Not to mention, she was already at the store. But no, I didn't say anything. I barely said a word to him after that because I was too afraid to say anything to anyone at all. It's like no matter what I say or do, I'm gonna be yelled at or ridiculed. So, my birthday rolls around. And I don't know about you, but even an hour after waking up, I'm not fully awake. Emily goes to wash the sheets because we share a bed, and I go into the kitchen for something. I don't remember, I was throwing something away. My father told me happy birthday, and I just gave him an audible sound, like a grunt or a hum. Now I'm like this with everyone. I'm here talking to myself while making these videos, so talking isn't an issue for me in this sense. But there will be times during my day where I just don't feel like talking to anyone. My silence towards my father at this time wasn't the leading factor. Had it been my stepmother to talk to me, she'd get the same response. Had Emily talked to me, she'd get the same response. Had I been back home with my mom and she said it to me, she'd get the same response. The only difference, though? That my mom knows my unsociable actions, and she wouldn't have taken it personally. My father? You know damn well he yelled at me maybe 10, 15 minutes after I got back into my room. The most embarrassing part was I was on the phone with a romantic interest at the time, swiped on Bumble. Y'all know how it goes. So he heard most of the yelling. This was the first time I stood up to my dad. told him if I'm such a bad child, he could send me back to my mom. And what he told me was that my mother didn't want me back, which later my mother told me she never said to him. Then my stepmother yelled at me, saying she warned me he would get like this because of the silent treatment. It's not my fault you both want to take things personally. I was in a mindset where I didn't feel like talking. I got on the phone because we were going to play Minecraft together. And I would have been silent most of the call anyway. So, my father wanted to take me outside that day and ridicule me some more. How I was going to start paying rent, and if I didn't get a job at a specific time, he would just throw me out. I got a job. I paid rent. I got my bank situated. All that wasn't a problem. But the sheer lack of care he had for me was all right there on the table. That moment was when I figured out my own father doesn't love me. Happy fucking birthday to me. It's because of that I don't like celebrating my birthday anymore. Forget it. The day doesn't matter to me. My grandmother, his mom, was over for that day and she saw how hard I broke down. Well, if she sees this video, now she knows why. Because I didn't tell her what happened. I don't even know if they told her. I'm sure they said something. Bet you it wasn't the truth, was it? I would get into a serious relationship, make a good friend. My boyfriend at the time, I'll call him Jacob, and my friend Carson. I feel my time with Jacob would have been short-lived anyway. I just wasn't in the right headspace. I didn't deserve him. I hope he's found better. But Carson was the man. He helped me through so much, I could never thank him enough. I would beg Jacob to let me stay with him until I needed to go to work, because he was an hour away. And on the days where I was home, I'd just message Carson, trying to get my mind off things. But, of course, my dad had to be a stickler here too. They met Carson once. I've been hanging out with him a few times, and the last time I saw him, he came by the house. And I told my father he was coming over. I didn't say we were going out, I said he was coming over to play Mario Kart. He brought his Switch, him and I played, and he also had 2 sets of controllers, so Emily and her brother could play with us. When he packed up and left, after my father came back home, he berated me as to why a stranger was in his home. I literally told him what the plan was. He knew who Carson was. And he could clearly see on the camera that nothing else happened. He never even left the living room. All I would be was a target, and that's why I left. I talked to my mom myself, bought me a plane ticket, and I went back home. I tried to talk to my dad after that, but how he handled the situation where I left a few things there and couldn't even bother to mail to me, it literally took me a year to get that package. He tried to gaslight me, he tried to guilt me, he tried everything to make it look like it wasn't his fault. I've shared the whole text conversations with my cousin. If y'all want to see them, I'll edit some personal info out before posting them on the community posts. And I mean the whole conversation, from the start of my new number to when I blocked his. I was done. I've had it. I at least had the decency to tell him I was going no contact before blocking him, my stepmother, even Jenny and Emily. Only people from that family I have contact with are my father's mother and sisters. I don't feel loved, never felt wanted. And if he would rather play house with another woman's kids than take care of his own, that's fine by me. As far as I'm concerned, my father died while he was deployed. I'm not really sure how to conclude this. I know there's more to say. There's more to share, I just can't remember. Call me petty, but I want the world to know that in their eyes, it was always my fault. How I felt didn't matter. They get mad when I talk, they get mad when I'm quiet, They get mad when I'm seen. They get mad when I lock myself in my room. I can't win with them. I never had a chance to be a daddy's girl because he was barely ever home. And when we had time to make up for it, he threw it away to spoil children that aren't even his. I know men who claim they could never take care of another man's child. That's why they would never adopt. So how could he have it ass backwards? Yeah, I'm still angry. Yeah, I'm still hurt. Because now, I won't have someone else to turn to but my mom. I can't have my father walk me down the aisle. I can't have that father-daughter dance. That's what's hurting me the most. Thinking about my own marriage, whoever the groom may be, and I can't have my father there. But honestly, even if he were to come to me, I still would rather my grandfather take his place than give him that privilege. Again, I know there's others out there who have it worse than I do, but my experiences are my experiences. My emotions are valid, my trauma is real, and if you feel your problems are less than mine, no, they aren't. You are just as valid. It's not your fault. And I hope you know just as much as I do. If you need to cut people off to better yourself for your mental health, you need to be strong enough to do it. I hope all my kittens wake up every morning with fruit juice and sugar, and I hope to see you all next time. Oh my god, okay, late editing, off script, I just remembered a story. It would be back in 2013 when he was in Cali, I would believe. This is like the perfect example of his gaslighting manipulation. Little bit of context. I have an issue with a lot of foods because of texture, which is why I don't like shell macaroni and cheese. And that is exactly what we had for dinner this one night. It was put on my plate, but I refused to eat it. My father was adamant that I liked it when I would tell him I didn't. He even said that he called and asked my mom which macaroni I liked, and she said it was shells. Later on, telling my mom this story, she told me that that was not what she said at all, because she knows I hate shells. But my dad said that if he called her again, and she said that I liked shells, that he was going to ground me for longer because I had just gotten out of my punishment. Literally making a 13-year-old believe? No, not even 13, I was 12. I wasn't even a teenager yet. He made a 12-year-old believe that she liked shells when I never did. So I forced myself to eat it, afraid of that phone call, believing that's what my mother would say. I can understand wanting to make your kids eat food, because it's kind of necessary, but gaslighting is not the way to do it. Anyway, that's the only one that I feel that I've left out from my head. If I think of any more while I'm editing this, I'll just write the stories in the description. So again, I hope to see you all next time.